Welcome to All About Money. I am Feng. COVID has hammered many sectors, but arts-related trade remains strong, with auctions continuing to set records. Christie's Asia-Pacific branch based in Hong Kong registered a record $1 billion in revenue last year, despite the economic downturn. Much of the proceeds were from the art sales. Francis Belin, president of Christie's Asia-Pacific, joins me today to discuss the latest trends in Hong Kong auctions. Welcome to the program, Francis.
Hello, Chloe.
It's great to see you again, and thank you so much for being on our show. Let's first talk about Christie's recent spring auction sales. In the recent sales, the auction achieved $428 million in total, and the highlights include watches, and the 20th and 21st century art category. So first, let's talk about the art-related auctions. What are the highlights from the auction, and did the sales meet your expectations?
Well, as you very well said, we just wrapped up this spring season at the convention center, and it was a very robust season despite the uncertainties and the tough financial backdrop and the geopolitical tension that we are all aware of. It was very robust across categories. It's one of our best seasons on record. For 2021st century art, it was our second best season in Hong Kong in our history. The first best season and the third best season were actually last year in 2021. So we continue to see a very strong demand for great artworks. In 21st century, we saw a lot of depth in bidding. 71% of the objects that presented sold above the highest rate, and 97% of all the paintings that were presenting found a buyer. So it definitely indicates that there's a lot of existing collectors and new collectors for great works. We also saw a lot of artist records, whether they are Western or Asian. We broke 35 artist records this season for 21st century. So really all put together, it still points to a robust market. It was also at the back of a very successful Shanghai to London sale that we had in March, luckily just before the lockdown in Shanghai. And that sale sold 95%, also with a lot of enthusiasm bidding in the room. So, we remain cautiously confident, but confident about the state of the market.
Right, and actually speaking of some pieces, some are really exciting, the numbers. For example, the Zhao Wu's work, it fetched $35.6 million. So tell us what are the specific art pieces that were surprised the art collectors?
Well, we're really honored to be able to present this work to the market this year. Again, we actually presented it for the first time 5 years ago in 2017. And it was already a very thought-after piece at that time. It was the record for the artist 5 years ago. And I think I'm personally very excited to see that the most expensive work that we sold this season in Hong Kong is actually a work of an Asian artist. As we see, and maybe we talk about it a bit later, more demand for Western artists as well. But we see that Hong Kong is the home and the platform at Christie's to continue to promote classic, modern, and contemporary Asian artists. We have this very much at heart.
Right.
We've seen also very strong results for a lot of our top lot in the evening sale. Picasso that was coming from the estate of Sean Connery. And I think interestingly, it was a sale that spoke to our Asian collectors. All the top lot of the sale were bought by Asian collectors, whether it's Zhao Wu, the Picasso, the Nara, the Richter, the Hockney. Some of these names were new in our sales, but they all found a buyer which resides here in Asia.
Right. And also, I know that there is an art piece called the Pie Fight Interior 12 by Romanian artist Andrew Guinea. It fetched $10.4 million. And how about this piece? Did this piece meet your expectation as well? I know that it has a special meaning, in the auction season as well, because there was a special art show that is being featured along with auction sales.
Absolutely. We introduced the artist a few seasons ago. We already broke records for the artist, global work record for the artist in Asia. And every season we feature one of his work. I think he's one of the most celebrated figurative artists of his generation. Adrien Guigné has made his way to institution shows, to private collectors, some of the most prominent in the world. So he's really one of these artists that we take pride in actually bringing to the market in Hong Kong and introducing to collectors. And you mentioned it, we had this season again, more than just an auction with works that come for sale. We had a really landmark show, which was a cross-curation of Francis Belin and Adrien Guigné, both of them being, for their time, the most celebrated figurative artists. And that show drew over 20,000 visitors at the convention center. And it was a really exciting moment of art. And it's the first time in the world that actually that cross-curation was being done. We partnered with Home Art, which is a gallery very close to. And it's just great to be able to bring to collectors, new collectors, existing collectors, or just people who are art enthusiasts, who are auction are public, to bring these great shows with masterpieces. But it also means bringing content which is not necessarily commercial. One example are these shows. We had a fantastic show just a year ago on Basquiat, Radiance, that we subsequently brought to our galleries in Shanghai with a lot of success. We had another show last December, which is Françoise Gillot. We're celebrating her 100th year anniversary. And this time we had this really amazing show with Francis Belin and Adrien Guigné. But it goes beyond these shows. We have also one of our departments called Christie's Education, where we host conferences and lectures, again, with the spirit to bring knowledge to collectors and to fully empower them to make the right decisions when they start to collect or when they want to refine their collection. So, really bringing the work that we do on the auction side to the next level in the way we empower our collectors is so important to us.
Right. I mean, I've been to the show as well, and I saw the Adrien Guigné's artwork, the Pie Fight Interior 12, is so huge, and it's just so lovely to see these amazing art pieces. And also, I know that there are some pieces, including the ones from Zhang Daqian, Claude Monet, and a non-fungible token by Takashi Murakami. But these artworks were not successfully sold. So, Francis, tell us, what do you think are the reasons behind?
As we discussed earlier, 97% of the paintings we presented were sold, and that means that 3% were not sold. And we absolutely believe that these were great works, that they were works of interest for collectors, that they were properly priced. We actually have interest after the sale from collectors who are considering to buy them. I think they are all very important artists for us to continue to feature in Monet and Zhang Daqian to feature in our sales. We have Zhang Daqian is the most celebrated modern ink painter in Asia and naturally in China. And we think his works are, very high in demand, and possibly the conditions in China, the fact that we're not able to tour the works to our Chinese clients like we usually do might have impacted the demand for the work.
And we know that, as I just mentioned, the NFT artwork, we have high expectation on this NFT work as well. And also, we know that the NFT market is taking off since the last year. And but then the industry saw a kind of a demand decline since the start of this year. So what do you see about the NFT-related auction market at the moment? Tell us more about your thoughts on this.
So we started a bit of the craze of NFTs with the sale of the Beeple work last year in New York, March. That sold for $69 million US. And we have continued to offer NFTs in our sale. Fundamentally, we believe, and I personally believe, so do our specialists here, that NFTs are here to stay. NFTs is basically bringing into the commercial world digital art, which we're not able to transact before because not having the blockchain technology meant these works were not, could not easily prove ownership, unicity, or provenance, and all this is now possible. So I think NFTs will stay just as digital art is such an important category in art creation. And as a matter of fact, digital art has been around for over 40 years, even if it was not necessarily present in the commercial world like it will now be with NFTs. So we are strong believers in NFTs as a category. Now, as we all know and have seen in the past few weeks, there's some market adjustment in terms of prices and enthusiasm and demand for everything which is related to blockchain, crypto, and NFTs. But we still believe that at the core, let's forget for the price for a second, but at the core, these digital assets are part of the artistic life of the 21st century. And that's why we feature them into our 20th and 21st century sale, because they're an extension of the creation of the 21st century.
Right, so you remain confident that this industry's NFT-related auction sales will bounce back later on?
Absolutely.
Right, thank you so much for your insights, Francis. Let's take a short break. Coming up next, we'll have more discussions on the auction market trend in Hong Kong. Do stay tuned.